Hey fellas, Dan Brokus from Lead Faucet Tactical. I'm spent about 26 years, 10 months in the military. I'm a retired SF Sergeant Major. In my background, I've spent a lot of time doing CQB, working at the schoolhouse and operational. Today we're going to talk about how some of these tactics apply to your house or an individual building. I get this question all the time. Hey Dan, I'm by myself. What do I do if I hear a bump in the middle of the night? There's a couple different schools of thought. Yes, everybody says barricade yourself and protect your family, or you can have an offensive mindset and go eliminate the threat. So if you choose that option, which I would always choose, we're going to talk about some of these techniques we're going to cover inside a house or structure if you're by yourself. All right, fellas, let's go into our first point, open doors. All right, fellas, I'm a singleton in my own house. You hear a bump in the middle of the night. Let's talk about open doors. Two techniques we can use. One is the deliberate pie method. The other is a dynamic eating the door method. They both accomplish the same thing. What people tend to do is come up and look in this open door and think center of the room. You got to think corners first, clear center, and end with corners. When we do that in our deliberate pie method, I'm going to get a good 1.5 meters off this door frame or the threshold, get as much as this deep corner as I can, position myself where I'm collapsing my sector fire, which is the entire room from that corner inside all the way across the center of this room. And most people will call this good right here. Get as deep as you can into this corner. And by coming to right here, I could probably see a human being standing in that corner if I want to. Nice, slow, and deliberate. Again, start with the corners, end with the corners. Don't forget about them. Don't be focused so on that center of the room. We got to collapse that entire room before we make entry. That's your goal. All right, fellas, full run on our methodical pieing technique. All right, fellas, we talked about our methodical pieing of our door frame or our threshold. We're gonna call eating the door, which is a more dynamic method. Still, the same philosophy applies. Start with the corners of the room, end with the corners of the room. Your goal is to collapse this entire room, but we're gonna pick up our pace and do the same thing. A good 1.5 meters off, get my corner as slow as I need to be. Then I'm gonna hustle across this threshold, get my corner, clear as much as I can. Then I can square up, step center, and be ready to make entry into that room. All right, fellas, full run on our dynamic eating the door technique. All right, fellas, we just covered our two techniques, our methodical pieing technique and our dynamic eating the door technique. Both techniques, use them how they apply, but they still want to accomplish the same goal. Start with your corners, clear that entire room, end with your corners. Fellas, don't forget about those corners. That way you make sure almost 99% of that room is cleared before you make entry.